Hello everyone. So there was a question on the community today, and it is actually an interesting question. In fact, many people ask uh, for something similar. Now the question is it possible to restrict the usage of Jira REST API by limiting it to only certain users? So based on my understanding, based on my knowledge, it is not really possible in the tool at least. You can't really stop anyone from using REST API. But of course, what all they can do using REST API is anyways defined by the permissions and the security that you have configured. However, what you can do is, let us say you do have, first of all, I think this particular question, or you may want to restrict it, or maybe if you're thinking about restricting it, then it means that you're concerned about maybe the performance of the instance, because some people might just do or run or basically access the APIs or consume the APIs programmatically. Of course, that's the whole idea, but they might abuse the system. But what you can do is you can define rate limits for those users. So, on data center, basically on-prem version of Jira, the option to define this limit is there. And what you can do is you can actually configure it in different ways. So if you look at this particular page here, improving instance stability with rate limiting. So this is basically, this page is talking about, if you look at this particular section, identifying users who have been rate limited. So basically you will be able to define who can, like the maximum or maybe some kind of restriction. So this page has basically a lot of details on this particular topic. For example, let us say you have 3 users, and for these 3 users, you may want to, let us say, define that this user is allowed to make 100 requests for accessing something in Jira, or maybe for doing something in Jira per minute or per hour, or maybe in the next 24 hours. So you can do that, and you can selectively then define these things for these users. And apart from this rate limiting, which I believe is quite nice, again, you're not really restricting the creation of or accessing REST API. Jira internally also uses REST API for doing a lot of things, right? But you can't really limit it, right? Because if someone is doing something on the browser, internally, I'm sure Jira is making a lot of REST calls, and you can actually see this because when you look at their log, especially the HTTP log, I think there is one HTTP log where you can see these internal requests. Or basically, when you look at the referrer, it will tell you that the requester is a browser or Jira itself, because you may need to use this information if you want to maybe segregate or define a separate node for REST API. For example, on this particular page, Atlassian is talking about traffic distribution. Basically, you can configure multiple nodes. We all know about it. But you can also have one node dedicated for REST API calls. So I think using this distribution and, of course, rate limiting, you can, in a way, limit or, in a way, have some controls over number of API calls. And this is something that will, again, not really stop anyone from using. Let us say if I'm a Jira user, I may want to do something. Even, for example, I remember I used to log my time using REST API because I don't really want to go to Jira and do it manually. So I used to keep a list of all the time logs per day for a specific issue key in Jira. So basically I had the CSV file, and every week I used to run it, or basically I used to feed it to my script. So I basically used to log time using REST API, which was basically using my shell script, and it works really, really nicely. But if you limit, or if you basically by default turn off REST API, then it will be a bit annoying for everyone. So don't do it, I guess. REST API is there for everyone to use, right? And that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about today in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much. Bye bye.